Everybody and welcome to Earth Atlantis, a game developed by Perfex, published by Headup. Earth Atlantis is a side-scrolling shooter with original monster hunting gameplay. Search and hunt down dreadful sea monsters, explore the post-apocalyptic underwater world. That is basically all we get from the store page, but there's a little bit more info that I can give you guys. Mainly about the story. And since the game itself doesn't really tell you much other than the opening screen, which I can't really show you anymore, I think it's a good idea that we go down the story a little bit before we jump into the game. In Earth Atlantis, mankind's main capitals are destroyed and lie deep down at the bottom of the sea as ruins of steel and stone. The machines have found their place in this new environment and now roam the seas, terrifying hybrids of creatures and machines. The great climate shift struck at the end of the 21st century. 96% of the Earth's surface is underwater. Human civilization has fallen, machines have adopted the shape and form of marine animals. The ocean is full of creature-machine hybrid monsters. You are a hunter, and a new journey begins. So, this is a shoot-'em-up. And you know me, usually I try to jump into these games blind, which is also what I did for this one. Unfortunately, I botched the recording, so I know how this game works, so yeah, let's just get into it. We'll do quest mode. As you can see, I've completed 10% of the game. That's about a little over half an hour of gameplay, I think, so you could be in for a little bit of a journey here. So we'll do quest mode, we'll continue. Yeah, we'll just do continue, that's fine. As you can see, we have a few ships. Only the Nautilus itself is unlocked at this point. And also the Aquanauts, the Moby Dick, the Musashi. I'm guessing these are all based on famous ships. I know the Nautilus is definitely one of those. So let's go. Captain received a distress call from the West Sea. They have lost all of their hunters and need your help immediately. Monsters everywhere. We will send you the locations. Okay, we'll be reading that then. Anyway, so this is the game. I'm using a controller, but keyboard and mouse should work perfectly fine if that's what you prefer. So we can shoot, we can turn. We have a bit of a map. The map shows us caches where we can get a type of backup weapon, and it also shows our target. It has the double-crossed swords there. So one thing that's immediately noticeable, of course, is the unique art style. This kind of sketch, I guess is what you could call it. I think it's pretty cool. And there's a lot going on in the background. I gotta admit, I was really captivated by this art style, so pretty sure it's safe to say that it's going to be one of its biggest selling points. So yeah, let's play a little bit and see what we do. My first plan is to immediately get a backup weapon. I find the way they do health a little bit weird. It seems like it's a bar filling to your death, which is kind of weird. We've got the energy power up here. So far I've found 4, I think. Missiles, torpedoes, this thing, and bouncing. I don't know if there's any more, or maybe that the other ships have different ones. Again, I've only played half an hour, and it seems you need to beat the game in order to unlock the other ones. So yeah, you'll be playing with this thing for a while, I think, before you get to try something different. So far there aren't any other levels. There's just this one, and I don't mean anything bad by it. The way it works is you get your targets. Destroying those targets will open up new ways for you to go. So it's a pretty large map as I try to remember where I'm going here. That's okay, you can see a little bit of the normal playstyle here. Before we get into the meat of things, which is the actual quote-unquote targets. I'm pretty sure I'm heading the wrong way. Because I'm an idiot, I'm gonna press on. It allows me to power up my ship a little bit. Which we're definitely going to be needing. As you can see, a lot of enemy environment. It doesn't start off like this. I think more enemies get introduced as you start clearing out your targets. So, yeah, the swordfish were definitely not here the first time I arrived. So let's have a gander. Energy. Okay, that's good. What I figured is that you can upgrade those additional weapons, but you can only have one of them, meaning that picking up one will replace another one, and it will always be at the lowest power when you pick up a new one. So, unfortunately, and I do say unfortunately, it seems that switching that out is not really a... Okay, we really get our first boss here. We get Apolloda. It doesn't seem to be that bad, having a rather simple pattern to it, but it seems you've got some more tricks in his sleeve. So yeah, when you get a boss battle, music changes. You know, you get a boss fight. You know how boss fights work in shootem'ups. One big thing, shoots a lot of bullets, and you have to shoot it a lot of times too. M. I don't know what M is, but I'm going to try to get just the health. Or maybe not. There we go. M is the torpedo things, B is the bouncy bombs. So we're going to ignore all of those. We're going to try to find our next target. So yeah, I've mentioned the art style before. It really is worth mentioning. I think it looks great. I mean, just look at the background too. That's really cool. You usually don't get that much stuff going on back there. The thing that maybe is a little bit, you know, less than ideal maybe. There's a great variety of enemies, but little in the way of ships, I think. Yes, there are more, but you've seen as we go into our boss battle with Colossus. So I haven't fought these yet. I've fought like squids and megalodons and stuff so far, but all the bosses you are seeing right now are new to me as well. It seems this one doesn't really have much fighting. That or I'm just really good at this game. Who knows? And down he goes. So we got two Bs. Let's switch it out so you can see some of the other stuff. So yeah, there's just fires and bouncy bombs. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, good variety in enemies. As you can see, we had 9% of our targets done, and that was, I think, 4, maybe 5, so there are quite a few targets, and if they're all as unique as the ones I've seen so far, that is pretty darn amazing. So now I need to do my best not to pick up that E over there. But yeah, good variety in enemies, but I think there's not going to be that much variety between the different ships. These are checkpoints. What they do is when you die, you start here. When you die, nothing really bad happens. You just lose all of your power-ups and any special weapons you may or may not have been carrying. So death is indeed best to be avoided, but This ain't no roguelike where you have to start all over again. So anything you've killed, as far as bosses go, will remain killed, and you just respawn on the latest checkpoint you've collected. But yeah, going back to the variety that I was talking about, it doesn't seem like there's much to different ships. They have a different primary weapon, maybe a little bit more health, maybe a little less speed. That's going to be basically it. So, knowing that, I don't know how incentivized I would be in playing this game over again, but with a different ship. Which cuts a little bit into the replay value, I would imagine. It might just be me in that case. I mean, if you really enjoy a game, there's no problem in playing it, and being able to go at it with another ship gives you something different to look at. And I'm assuming they play at least a little bit different, considering they play a different weapon. But all in all, I don't think it's going to be making too much difference there. So at least we can be glad that there is a ton of enemies and such. As you can tell, enemies respawn, the bosses don't. But that's good. I mean, it's good, it's bad, depends on how you look at it, I guess. I mean, it's bad in that, you know, in a lot of games, I think most people agree, if you spot enemies, you know you're going the right way, right? So, having enemies respawn means it's maybe a little bit easier to get lost, but it also means that if you do end up kicking the metaphorical bucket, you could at least grind back up to your full strength. So I mentioned the art style being great. Day of Tentacles. Ooh. So our boss here is just a whole bunch of these guys. That's a first. Okay, that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. In the meantime, we can appreciate the background here with a sunken church or chapel or whatever that's meant to represent. But yeah, I mentioned the art style, and again, it looks great. There's no denying it. But it can make things a little bit more confusing due to the lack of color. Sometimes enemies can blend in really well with the background, whether that is intentional or not, I'll leave to the wayside. But the same can go for bullets. I mean, you have the bouncy bullets now, and those can bounce back to you. They can't hurt you, but you know, you'd have to realize that those won't harm you. Again, whether that is done intentionally or not. I'm gonna say no. It seems they went really deep into this sketch art style, making me believe that they've done everything they could to preserve that. Meaning they introducing a different type of color to distinguish between enemy fire and your fire could not really be helped. And I can appreciate that, you know? Okay, it comes with a bit of a thing, but it at least gives you something fancy to look at, I guess. Is this the way I came in? Angelic Siren. Okay, so it seems we're really speeding things up here. I usually didn't... Like I said, I did the first thing, I did like 4 bosses in the span of that video, and now I'm already on my 3rd. We're like, what, 10 minutes or so in? Maybe not even that much. Maybe I just got good at following directions. Okay, easy there, buddies. Looks looks like we've arrived at what used to be Easter Island. So yeah, no separate levels, everything is just one big map. Making it easier to get lost, but also means you never really have to grow back to your former power unless you actually end up dying. Death hasn't happened all that much. I think I've died once in playing on normal, so there's an easy, which I didn't bother with because I'm not new to these types of games, but if you are, then that might give you some more enjoyment of the game if you think things are hard. And of course there's also a harder difficulty, which I also didn't bother with because whilst I have played bullet hells, I'm usually not that amazing at them. Not that I'm saying that I'm amazing on these, so maybe hard could give you a bit of a more difficulty there. As I said, I'm playing with controller. It works fine, besides my controller being a little bit on the fritz. I haven't seen a method to put in dead zones, which normally isn't a problem, but again, my controller is a little bit, yeah, getting up there in age, shall we say. And if I don't touch anything, my ship will casually slide forward or backward, depending on which direction I decide to go in last. So maybe that would be something I could bring up. We went with power. Okay, so peace power. It's not a special thing. Our starting point. Cool. I think I've been here before, though. This corridor seems familiar, at least. But yeah, not much in the way of mapping, you just have a general direction where to go, which I suppose is usually going to be fine unless you get really frustrated. So far they haven't really done any obscurely hidden paths yet, so try it on. He's not taking much damage from getting shot at, it seems. So there's probably something to it. Ah, you hit him on the spinny things, and once he's done spinning, you can hit the actual block. Okay, cool. First time we actually had a mechanic like this too, so you know. The bosses have been well thought of, it seems. We can only appreciate that, I think. It would be pretty boring if all the bosses were just a fish that was shooting laser beams at you. Just to mention, I did once fight one of those things, so... Let's pick up the bomb upgrade. And there goes our school bus. Oh, cool. Let's see what we have in there. I'm looking for another B. It's an H. So, leaving it. New enemy types start to emerge. And old enemies seem to be getting new attacks. Okay. I can appreciate that. Enemy variety, even if it means old stuff getting new things. We've been fighting these fish for quite some time. I think they are among the first things you come across. Yes, as I mentioned, there are different ships. They always seem to be differing in base stats and main weapon. Not sure if there is much you could do. I suppose one thing that would be possible is to maybe like add a special skill to each one of them. So this one could have like a forward dash, or maybe shield himself for less damage, and switch that out with some of the other ships. But it's just, you know, minor details, I guess. Game does have achievements. So far I've got 1 for killing 3 bosses. Or I guess targets. This is a big room with little limits. It seems we've reached one of the edges of the map. I wonder if I can go through here. No. You don't take damage from bumping into stuff. Unless it's an enemy. Or probably one of those deep sea mines. Assume those would be bad. So this seems like a boss area. We'll end up fighting something in there, no doubt. But this is not the way we are meant to go. It feels weird not to be shooting constantly. Am I the only one who has that in games like this? That if you're not shooting, you're not playing properly? I have that. There are a number of games, actually. Mostly in games where you have unlimited ammo. So let's see. I'm gonna try to figure out the map, which is not an easy feat to do when bullets are flying. So we need to find our way up again. There was a way up there, so let's go that way. Alright. So, I need to keep talking about this, I guess. Which is difficult because I'm kind of embroiled in the game, which is probably a good thing, right? So look at that big thing. Swimming casually past in the background. Okay, so we need to find our way down to the right a bit. Which makes me think we are supposed to be heading back that away. So what do I think about the game? I'm enjoying myself. I think that's all they really want from the game, right? Just some good, clean fun. The art style is pretty to look at. The music is not too disturbing. Seems to be fitting the theme quite well. Yeah. You're not going to be playing this for the immersive storyline or whatever. You're just going to be here and shoot a bunch of mechanical pufferfish. Or jellyfish. Whatever strikes your fancy. As far as I know, the game is also available on console. I'm currently playing the Steam version myself. I'll have a gander at the price soon. Okay, just casually sneak through. I think we're heading in the right way, assuming there's a way up from here. A little bit lower than we need to be, so it just doesn't end in a big dead end. We're back at where we fought the... I think that was where the octopus was hiding. But anyway, yeah, there's Steam achievements. I know people like to show off, so you can do that. Just trying to find... This is where one of those moments where you kind of wish there was a slightly better map, but honestly, it's not big of... It's not a big deal. There's always more stuff to shoot, so it's not that you're ever going to get truly bored of things. regular fish. I think those are new too. There we go. One of the bouncy bombs got him. Okay, another dead end. Again, death isn't a problem, but, you know, you kind of want to avoid it. You spend a hard time getting your ship to wherever it is. Collecting a whole bunch of peas. This is a bit of a thing I wanted to avoid, actually. You know, this is basically just downtime. We want to get back into the action, don't we? There's always stuff to shoot, but for the purpose of this video, it would have been a little bit more fun if we could go back to boss fight after boss fight. We seem to be making a beeline towards him. Unless we run into a giant wall, of course. Still, we got more paths to take, so I think this is where we've been at the start here. Let's try to do one, maybe two more bosses, and then we'll probably cut this up or end this boss. Yes, please. Yeah, it's gotta be the right way, right? H, we don't want. No. Let's get rid of you. What do you got? Rotodom Alpha. Because I can't hurt you while you're spinning. And we're free to hit you hard afterwards. Alright. So dodge, dodge, dodge. Ooh, wow, that hit hard. So we can take him out. There we go. Okay. There seems to be something over here, so let's go do... Alright. I guess I won't. Make sure we're back up to full power. And let's go find one more thing. So overall, yeah, it's a fun little game. Let me go check pricing now before I forget about that. 15 euros, currently having an opening week sale offer ending on February 5th for minus 20% off. So if you like what you're seeing, it might be a good idea to pick it up quickly. There's our Statue of Liberty as we fight Titan. Giant crab. At least they give us a little fish, which might give us a little bit of health back. Come on, open wide. Oh, we can hit the claws too. Some good hits. Come on. Big boy. seem to have a small issue trying to dodge the torpedoes. Alright. Well, I guess this is as good as a place to end things on then as we watch the sunken remains of the Statue of Liberty who somehow made it into the cityscape. Anyway, so yes, that's gonna do it for this one. This has been Earth Atlantis. Thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to show support by commenting, liking, and if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys on the next showcase, I guess. Bye everyone.